Alright, I think I'm finally ready to begin recording my redstone fan video. What? Wait a minute. The best fans? No, this isn't right. This isn't possible. You uploaded before me. No. Beat me to the punch, did you, purplers? Ha ha ha. I don't think so. You have the best redstone fans. Please. I have the best redstone fans. And I'll prove it. See, observer loops are used in most redstone fans, but the problem with them is that most of the pulses get lost when you unload the chunks. This results in the clocks losing their blades and breaking them entirely. The solution to this, of course, is a comparator clock. The use of these allows for consistent frames on the fan blades without any relog or unload breaking. I found a brilliant way to use this in order to get consistent timing by using a setup like this with a piston. In my fan tutorial for Bedrock Edition, I mentioned that this doesn't work on Java. I lied. And it is through the combination of these things that we can achieve a very elegant design for a redstone fan. The fan blades are perfectly spaced, and with the flick of a repeater, you can change the number. In Purpler's video, he used walls for this effect. They're infinitely expandable, which is pretty useful. However, most people don't need a megabase-sized fan. I think the comparator clock should work well for most circumstances, since it's a bit more compact. His design for fans also used frostwalker boots to prevent them from breaking. However, the ice in his contraption took forever to thaw, so it didn't reset very quick. I made one that resets instantly. I didn't need to. I just wanted to. That's it for the preamble, let's get to the fans. As you can see here, I've got a bunch of different designs on display. You can find the download of this entire thing in Jake Heldencraft's Discord. Link in the description. For now, I'll just be going through each one and describing what I was thinking when I made it. For these 3x3s, I know most, of the designs for these are pretty much the same, so I wanted to make one that you can see through. Bit unique. I cheated a little bit with these trapdoors here to make it small as possible, but I think it's fine. This one's extremely slow. It uses repeaters out the wazoo. You can change the setting on these to make it a bit faster if you'd like. For this one, a bit faster, a bit more simple. I'm not going to be doing a tutorial for any of these because there's just too many fans. However, if there's any of the more complex ones that you really want a tutorial for, just let me know in the description. The 5x5 fans are very similar, only 2 blades. I think 3 blades isn't too legible on the smaller designs here. You can see this sort of just coils around. It's a bit hard to figure this one out from just looking at it because of all the layers, so I might do a tutorial on this if you want. For this one here, a bit simpler. You can actually see all of the redstone here. These observers just point in, so not too difficult to remake this one if you'd like it. 7x7 is a bit more complex. There's 3 different sizes here, and 2 different types. As you can see from the symbol here, this one means that the blades are straight, and this one means the blades are curvy. Feel free to choose whichever one you want. I think the curvy blades look a bit better, if you ask me. However, the straight blades are the ones that use this piston design, and it makes it completely flat, which makes it much easier to copy. The only difference between these two is the timing on the top, so it should be pretty easy to manage. Same with the 9x9, you just change the timing and you get a different size blade. For the 4-block thick blade, it's a bit more complicated, because the repeaters are on 1 tick instead of 2, and the back is slightly different in the center. However, that's really the only difference between those. Let's talk repeaters. Every fan has blocks and repeaters alternating in the 2 spaces behind the fan blade itself in order to make sure that the trapdoors don't just flicker. they need to stay on long enough. On the 2 and the 3, the repeaters are all on 2 ticks. That makes copying it much easier, since when the surface is flat, you can see all of the redstone. There's no guessing. On the 4, the repeaters are all on 1 tick. Also easy. However, all of the repeaters being the same is not the case for this fan, and this fan. If you're looking to copy them, then you're probably going to want to use the Lightmatica mod, because the repeater timings on them, it changes depending on each individual block, in order to make sure that the animation is smooth. In the meantime, I'll talk about the fans that are easy to copy. Starting with the 2-bladed fan on the 9x9 scale, you can see the back here is all one surface, except for these observers that come straight down from the top in order to insert the pulse straight into the middle. If I use the replace command here, you can see what the observers behind here actually look like. Next is the 7x7 4-bladed fan. It's a bit more chaotic than the rest, but I think it still looks okay enough, and the redstone for this one is very simple to the other one I just showed. You can see the observers go straight down into the middle, and we can see what the ones behind here look like. Now the 9x9 4-bladed fan is my absolute favorite. The animation is very smooth, almost hypnotic, and it's extremely simple to make. All of the repeaters are on 4 ticks, the top clock has 8 ticks, and the backside here isn't too complicated. It's practically only 1 layer of observers, but there's some loops on the back which I can remove to reveal what's underneath. And if we just do this, there we are. You can see everything on the underside, allowing you to be able to copy it with ease. Out of all the fans that exist on the internet so far, I also believe that this, in particular, has the best on-off animation. Behold for yourself, in all its glory. Marvelous. I hope you enjoyed my fan collection. Feel free to use any of them as much as you'd like. In conclusion, I think we can all agree my fans are better than Purpler's. All in good fun, by the way. You know, I think his video was awesome. Next video I make, I plan on doing a tutorial for my train that you might have seen in Jake Kelton Craft's showcase, so look forward to that. For now, whoops, that's my butt. Signing off. Like, subscribe, do whatever. I'll catch you next time. Peace.